Hello all. Let me introduce. My name is Lukas Macura and I am from CESNET and from Syslog University. I will explain later, but first I have to say some important things about this presentation. First of all, I am not Zabbix developer, and to be clear, and I will not sing today. Okay. Next thing is that this presentation is not technical one. It's much more about I am technician whose purpose is to take the softwares together and make an automatic washer from it. So we are implementing some solutions in campus, and my presentation is about how we use Zabbix and how we connect it with another softwares, much more than some high-educated talking about Zabbix itself. Okay, this is some contents. I will try to introduce my organizations. I will try to say some history about Zabbix in Syslog University. It's a really long history. I will say something about CESNET, and as a result, I will try to say what we are missing in Zabbix. Okay, so CESNET is a Czech national network which includes all Czech universities. It's a high-speed network for more than 10 gigs links. We are on the right side, right top side. There is Karviná and Opava, and this is our location here. So this is my organization in which I work, and CESNET is organizing all network for the public universities. Looking into Syslog University, we have 4 faculties. I am in School of Business Administration in Karviná, and what's important, we are in 2 places, and there is 60 kilometers between them, so there are at least 2 campuses, and first we try to use distributed monitoring for it. Okay, so now I will try to be some philosopher. So, something about monitoring. Of course, we need monitoring because we need to know about crashes. But we need crashes to test monitoring. We need crashes of monitoring to be happy that everything works. But really worst way is if users act as monitoring. So if some ugly user will come and say it doesn't work, it should be another. It should be, yes, I know it doesn't work, it will work. So we have 2 solutions. Either we will predict crashes or we will not have any user. I select second one, but it's not possible. Okay. Something about history of monitoring on Syslog University. We experienced it a lot before Zabbix. We tried some, I don't remember the names of the software which we tried, and finally we decided to implement Zabbix, even if it was in alpha versions, because there was it was quite a nice solution, and we started from 0. We liked, even in start version of alpha, we liked the new design of software, because it has that database design and configuration in database was really interesting feature. So in first stages there was I would say dark time. It means Zabbix until it was implemented, so crashes were unknown and users reported. So we found Zabbix. We implemented very basic monitoring, but I don't know how many of you uses Zabbix from alpha versions, but it was really complex to configure in first versions, and not suitable for complex setup. we had, it was, what to say, one-man show, because everything was configured by me, and I was only one man who understood that how that simple monitoring works. But that was happy time, because we knew about crashes and we were happy from it. There was a big problem and start with false positives that is due to alpha versions, but we moved. There was a lot of upgrades. There were a lot of upgrades between versions, and sometimes it had to be from entire data had to be cleared or moved. It was not. In fact, it was not a problem, because we started from scratch, and we had a really simple monitoring, so it was not a problem to migrate some really small amount of items. There was no clean upgrade procedure, which is quite normal in alpha stage softwares. So we were moving to second stage, and that first stage was, I can say, fuzzy time. It means we were happy when sometimes it was reported, because really it was half implemented. We decided to move to 1.4, and there was a big boom, because 1.4 had new features and new items and new designs that from that version it was really possible to use it for larger setup and to use more complex scenarios, and we started to use it as even as inventory. So we migrated to 1.4, and from that point, I think that big era of Zabbix in Silesian University started. As I said, we have two locations, 60 kilometers long, with 60 kilometers distance. And in fact, from historical reasons, there are two networks, there were two separate networks with separate configs, separate devices and everything. Now we are connected much more better, but from historical reasons there were two absolutely another locations. One in Opava, second in Karviná. We needed to interconnect the Zabbix servers, so we, for some short time, we used distributed monitoring setup. But there were problems, as it was said, that if interconnection was lost or some problem, so configuration didn't get synced, and we had more problems that it was excitable. So we split it two Zabbix nodes to two Zabbix server, independent servers, but we use common authentication LDAP. So even if it has two servers, so we are able to look. Any administrator with rights can look inside any Zabbix. Now, from that point, really, it's, I don't want to say huge configuration, because comparing to your configuration, which I heard is really small, but there is really big amount of data, because we use inventory and we have documented almost everything in Zabbix. It means all laboratory PCs, all servers, virtual infrastructure, network infrastructure, everything is inside Zabbix, even with inventory. So now is really important system where are important data about devices, and we use the data for some another purposes. I will say later. We tried to import from Zabbix forum. We use Zabbix import export script for Cisco devices. I don't know how many users uses this creator of templates, but we used it long time. That some spare script which will generate Zabbix template, and it worked long time. Today we are using, I will say about it, today we are using new discovery mechanism. So we have all devices there, almost all ports on all switches are monitored, so we can know the errors and everything what's possible on all ports in the entire network. And because of all information on one place, now we created graphs and maps that any user, not any user, but any administrator, even if he is not skilled, can look into map and see where is the problem with servers, with networks, with wireless or any network device. I think it's purpose of Zabbix at all. So today's information is about servers. So all servers has, as I said, inventory. It means if it's virtual, if it's physical, interfaces, some service tags, and everything is inside inventory. So if there is some problem, I can look directly into Zabbix and call support if there is problem with server. Of course, data from agent. We made some small scripts that we can monitor pending updates of Debian servers, status of backup for any server. It means daily or weekly, and if there is some problem with backup with some hosts, there is a trigger, and we know that there is problem with some backup. And of course, because it's connected with SNMP to Cisco devices, so we know the throughput of the server. So from this all informations, we can predict everything if there is some problem or if there should be some problem. Today we use 2.02 version. Yes, migration took some time. I will say about it later. Everything works great, but it's really not huge as a database. It's not huge. It's only many informations there for us, so it's important, but it's not huge as I don't know how the 300 gigas or something like this. No. We changed the template system to new auto discovery for SNMP devices. Maybe there is some issue that it needs to be how to say more verbose, because sometimes that low discovery doesn't work, and there is no chance to, or there is big problem to find why the device is not auto discovering. But when it works nicely, when there is no problem, it's really nice feature. And I already uploaded the template to forum, that it's new template, and we tested it with Cisco switches, HP switches, and it works. That it will find all interfaces, it will find, I think, all fans and CPUs and auto discovery, and creates all items on host. Especially virtual infrastructure, because I think anybody is lucky when he migrates to virtual infrastructure. There is only one issue, that you never know where is your server. Yeah? sometimes it's really hard to find your server because some vMotion you move to one hardware and another hardware, and I have to ask my friend, which is administrator, where is that server? Yeah. Now he is there. Okay. So please, may I do this or this? This is documented. We have groups of hosts, of course, where I can find which server belongs to which virtual, which VMware. In fact, we used KVM, but I think we don't have any KVM server today. That everything is migrated on VMware. So, but I liked that presentation about that VMware monitoring, and maybe we can do some brainstorming after it because it's really nice features. You can see some network map. It means each color is one building. It's only Carvina. So each color is one building. There are lines which connect the switches. You cannot see this, but there's a feature, there's not bug, because I would have to change some descriptions. So each line has throughput there, and I see on the map automatically uplink, downlink, everything is on map, so I can look inside map and I see, okay, there is 1 gigabit stream from one building to another building, what's going on? And this is, everything is directly in one screen for basic monitoring of network. So any even non-educated user can look and say, okay, this building is out, or this building is, there is big uplink or something like this. Now this is layer 3 infrastructure, I think. There are some there's another point of view, and this is I think from ObnovaNG. All printers. We have some printing systems FQ, and all printers which are in campus are monitored by Zabbix. I'm not sure if today we monitor things like number of copied pages and this, because we have support and we don't take care about this, because if something bad happens, so we call the support and they will change everything, and they have their own support of the devices. So I think there is not some counters or something like this. It's only really some very basic monitoring of printers. But we had, before we had that software and before we had that support, I think we were documented the level of toner and everything is possible to get from SNMP devices. Again, problem with templates, because I think that the templates repository will be really good idea, because I think that any template which we use for this kind of things was handmade by us, because we had to find some SNMP MIP and make its own. Now our great 3D map of wireless networks. There are APs. We have Cisco controller, and of course, if that APs is active, and any user can look where if that AP on his level or his floor is working or not, or it's overview for administrators. It's only one building. We have more than building, but it's only my friend of mine told that he will make 3D map of our building. So I said, okay, let's put it to Zabbix. So now something about interconnection Zabbix with other projects. First, we use ObnovaNG. It means it's system for refreshing lab PCs. to be clear, yes, anybody says, why do you need to refresh PCs on labs? Okay, don't put the right to students and everything is solved. Yes, but how can they learn how to kill the machine if they don't have administrative rights? So we have another point of view. They can do almost anything, and we have our refresh system which can revert the entire lab with 20 or 30 PCs up to 10 minutes, because it's based on rsynths, and only changes are copied, so it's really quick. And we have connected that system with Zabbix using API, and that system asks Zabbix for MAC address and get the informations about hosts, what to do if it should be refreshed or what to do. So in an inventory of Zabbix, there are all informations, even MAC of that PC, and Zabbix is connected through API and do something useful. I will show on next map. Yes, and often lectures uses this before test, because to be sure that somebody didn't put some answers into disk or something, so they run the Obnova and it refresh PC that is clean. So there is information. There are information which we can see from PC, lab PC inventory. Data from agentless monitoring, it means that there are some really small amount of things, but we can see last logged user. It's important for us. So we have IP, we have MAC address, and we have last logged user, and we can find it in Zabbix. We can see if PC is running, if it's possible to ping or not, and status of ObnovaNG. It means it's clean, not clean, ObnovaNG was okay, or ObnovaNG was didn't pass. So our technicians at morning look to Zabbix and see, okay, ObnovaNG didn't pass on lab X. So they will go there and they will fix where's problem. Most problems are power problems, that somebody turn off all PCs and they are not possible to wake up, because we use wake on LAN on that PCs, and we turn that on each Friday at evening. We turn all PCs on, set ObnovaNG so they are refreshed and they will turn off. Yeah, and if somebody loses the power, so it doesn't work. And I think we cannot solve this. So you can see the lab. So we can use the Zabbix and we can turn on computer, reboot computer, shut down computer. We can set the Obnova. So when I click to Obnova, so from this point, after computer reboots, it will be refreshed. Or it's mean for entire lab. And I see that Czech, I have to translate the Czech words. So it means that that it's turned off, that lab PCs are turned off, and down there is written that Obnova didn't pass last 15 days. So it's only information for that administrators that 15 days ago didn't pass Obnova. It doesn't have to be error, because they don't do it on all PCs regularly. There is another button, start inet and stop inet. It's for lectures. When they click on that button, they can start internet on that laboratory or stop internet. It's during the tests, because students know Google, so there's a problem. So they wanted to stop it, so they can stop. So in servers, as I already said, we see some standard things. I think there is nothing special except that backup, because we have centralized backup Amanda, and we parse the log of Amanda and do sending results to Zabbix if everything was good. And next, which is is status of Debian updates. So, as I said, today, 2 Zabbix server not connected, LDAP, and I will try to show you some another softwares which are connected with Zabbix. Network administrator visualizer. Does somebody know this? This software? Nobody? This is really great software for layer 2 networks. Because you can find, it is most important thing which we use is that you put IP, MAC address or port, and it will search where it is. Because I don't know how many of you have big layer 2 infrastructure, and you know how complex it is to find some MAC address. If you know the MAC address that it is doing something bad, and you want to find where it is. So you have to go to switch and show, and find where it is. This software runs runs from cron. It connects to SNMP devices, which you enter there, and do automatically create network map. And if you enter IP or MAC address, you will get switch and port where it is. And if you have rights to SNMP, you can shut down the port enter from that web. So it's really great software and I recommend if you wanted to solve something like this, it's really quick way and easy way how to do it. There is a repository for Debian, and it's really easy to set up. You only enter the IPs of your switches. Maybe there is a point to interconnect with Zabbix because the information are 2 times. One time they are in Zabbix, and one time they are in that network administrator. So maybe in future we will think how to either to connect from map or something like this, how to connect these 2 softwares. This is some automatic map. Really, I did nothing. I only installed it nav, put it all IPs there, and this map is automatically created from this. So for these purposes, it's great software. Other tools which we use, Flowmon probe. It's a probe which collect all the data from network, or not all data, but data which you mirror there. So you can select ports which we want to mirror there, and it collects informations and put it to database. And you can find, after a while, after some time, you can find the problem. Mostly we use it for searching security incidents. Because if somebody says, okay, 1 year before, at this date, somebody went to our page and did something bad. Okay, so you have to, if I have all public IPs, so most of them are public, so it's not so big problem. But for Edurong, there is hundreds of clients, and we have no enough public IP addresses, so they are private. So if there is some problem, we look into Flowmon. We can find the internal IP which was at this time, and look to radius, look for logged user, and look to IP, and we have glue, and we know the name of attacker. It was, I don't know which year, when we decided that we don't want to save our network before attackers, but we have to save internet behind our attackers. But not really hackers, but sometimes it happened that some bad software, Trojan or something like this, will do some really bad things, and the user don't know about this. But we change the policies on firewall that we have to take safe internet behind us. Okay, so this is some graphs from Flowmon, so you can see the live map, live traffic which is there, or you can select. There is something like pickup filter that you can put there and find some problems on the network, either live or in past. Other tools, VoIP. This is software for students on dormitory. They have written its own. There is for registration, activation, deactivation, and manage internet connections. They use Zabbix for main monitoring purposes on that dormitory network, but not connected with VoIP up to end. But that VoIP is connected to FreeRadio server, and they register student, and he has got access, and either via Wi-Fi or either via .1x or via web out, he can log in to infrastructure. And we know about each IP, we know who is it, because it's really important for security and for tracking incidents. Next, very useful tool, Syslog server, central point of logging. So every information, every host, every server, every switch is glued with this server, and if we want to find some security incidents, it's good point where to start or where to find something useful. And yes, we are looking there even for connecting IP, MAC, radius, login, and everything. It's on one place. We use Splunk for data mining because there are really a lot of data, and we use some Zabbix logger that some very important messages are in Zabbix, but this is not purpose of Zabbix to pull big logs there. So only really emergency messages are going there. So, which are results? More software solutions together. Maybe it's good, maybe not. Maybe it's each software does his work well. I think we have everything what we need for monitoring. Core is Zabbix, of course. Monitoring, inventory, simple management across web, so any user can do something useful. Network administrator visualize is mainly for detecting and searching layer 2 and layer 3 nodes on network. Flowmon for security incidents. VoIP for students on dormitory. Central Syslog server. And as I said, we need 100% guarantee that we can find any network flow. I mean any network flow which went from campus somewhere. Because if there is some security incident, we want to find and we want to say, okay, this was this user. Okay, current state of Zabbix. Bad, but I am doing best to change it. They say me that I am Zabbix extremist. But it's really hard because it's huge infrastructure, and CESNET uses Nagios very long time. So there is no way today to change it because there is more hacks and do more software around this. But this is only CESNET. I mean that group of network of universities. But on universities it's better. Sometimes on universities there is local Zabbix server. When I'm talking about CESNET, I mean only that organization which gives internet for them. But on local organization is a little bit better. There are some Zabbixes installed. So what we are missing? Please don't kill me. But I would want to say what people say to me, why they use Zabbix. So why they don't use Zabbix, so what they need, or if they use Zabbix, what they need to be better. So maybe you don't have same opinion as me, but what we are missing? Working command line for backup exports. It was nice that I heard that it's in roadmap that backup of configuration will be done some command line or automatically or something like this. It's good. But I am thinking about disaster recovery. When something will happen with our server, Zabbix server, it will die. Okay, we have backup, but it takes really long time to recover from backup. Maybe some another scenario, so some script which will first load all configuration data Zabbix can run, and after it to put some longer history. I am not sure. I am not sure how to do it. But for disaster recovery, it really takes a long time to recover from big problem. Migration tool from MySQL to Postgres. Does somebody have this magic tool? I heard some forums, some posts, but nothing was done. Interconnection with network administrator visualized. What I want to say, we have all information, or we can have all information from CSNMP in Zabbix. So if I do low-level discovery and I have all information in Zabbix, even Zabbix can create network map. But its question, is it should Zabbix do this? This is only a philosophical question. If in future there is possibility to collect some data from servers and maybe some module or something like this, which will look into the data and either create some map or something like this. So more intelligent data processing. But it's philosophical question. As I said, the problem with auto-discovery that it's a little bit tricky. And what would be nice, to possibility to analyze the data by some external modules. I mean, artificial intelligence or something like this. If I do some module which will collect the data from history or trends or everything, so I think I can predict next problem, because I know what happened in last crash and last problem, and I know the symptoms before it will happen again. So maybe for future it will be nice. Maybe playground for students to play with some analyzing of data. As I said, modularity, maybe. As I said, I am not Zabbix developer, please. I am only thinking about some possibilities. Yeah? IPv6 services support. Because today, maybe I only didn't understand it, but if I want to monitor hosts as IPv4 and IPv6, I must have two hosts, because I cannot do simple checks on HTTP or something like this, divided into IPv4 and IPv6. If I am wrong, maybe I only missed something. But in fact, that maybe there should be some glue between it, and should be possible to create IPv6 interface for server and to ask to know everything, because in fact all servers in our campus are IPv6, or almost all. Timeline, not Facebook, please. This is don't implement Facebook to Zabbix. I mean, possibility to see what happened in some time. I mean, I want to change the time for yesterday, 6 o'clock, and I would want to say the screen of Zabbix, which was at this time. Yeah, it would be a very nice feature. People want to this. Yeah, and best would be if I see what will be tomorrow. Next, SVG graphs. I think I think it could be nice feature. SVG maps. I mean, I can create map in any software, which will be text-based SVG, and I can put Zabbix macros inside this. So I can make the SVG in any kind of software, and Zabbix could use and expand the macros inside that text. Maybe it will be nice. Scripting, this is what I said. Maybe Lua or something for more complex scenarios. If you want to take more data from your history and trends and to mix them some way and do something useful. Yes, wizard. I know developers don't like wizards, but this is not my point of view. I don't need wizard, but users want it. Yeah, and if I ask why you don't use Zabbix, because there is no wizard and there is no automatic map creation. Yeah, so and this is my friend which said that problem with Zabbix is click until dead. Yeah, so but I hope it will be solved that in next version, and I would to say it's much more better, because as I knew Zabbix from first releases and these possibilities which are today, that multi-action and this is really great, but still there are some points of view when you are still clicking, yeah? So it's really harmful. What about that time? And okay, so thank you for your attention.
From what you said before, I assume you have experiences with Nagios as well. You're working with Nagios too.
No, I had experiences as a user, not implementing Nagios.
Okay. Anyway, do you see arguments for coexistence of Zabbix and Nagios? Or, well, as you said before, you're a Zabbix extremist.
Arguments for...
Just your personal opinion.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion because, as I said, I didn't do some Nagios setup or something like this. But if I talk with some people and I will ask why you don't have Zabbix, they say, most situation, they say it's too much complex. They will install and they will see much more items, and I don't want to see how many memory or something, because they take some really easy software, they will set up and they will see, okay, this is green, this is red, this is nice monitoring, I have everything what I need. Yeah? But if there is many items and, whoa, what's this? I don't want this, yeah? Because it's too much complex. It's not my opinion, it's about when I'm talking with people, because they want either maybe they don't take care about all information from Zabbix, from agent. Maybe it's enough for them to ping or something like this. It's possible in Zabbix, no problem. But if they do standard installation, they will get this kind of things. I don't say it's bad, but I say their opinion.
Thank you. And another question, you said you're managing your inventory also with Zabbix. Do you have kind of an automatism to put the inventory in there, or do you have a manual process actually?
It's almost manual.
Pardon?
Almost manual. Okay.
Thank you.